Hey there, Retrocore kiddos. This is ThatZooooooooo with another quick play, or let's look at, or quick look, or whatever I call these things. It's been a while again, hasn't it? I know I said I'd probably be able to do more videos since I was out of school for the summer, but things happen and stuff. But here's a video for you. I know Chris is busy too. I know what the deal with him is. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get to regular videos sometime soon, and hopefully on my personal channel too, but yeah. Anyway, this is a game by Squaresoft. You may have heard of them before they merged with Square Enix. This was made by Lightweight, which I thought was something else when I first played this game. This is Bushido Blade, made by Squaresoft. This is probably, as far as I know, one of the only fighting games made by Squaresoft, I think. Bushido Blade is a one-on-one fighting game with blades and an honor code called the Bushido, as the name implies. And it's a pretty unique fighting game, which I'll get into once I'm done talking about crap. This is the opening sequence here, but yeah. Bushido Blade was successful enough to spawn a sequel called, oddly enough, Bushido Blade 2, also released for the PS1. Oh yeah, this is PS1, by the way. I'm not a professional. I tend to forget things. There's Mitsurugi from Soul Calibur. Well, not really. or Soul Edge, if you prefer. Whichever. Was Soul Edge precursor? Yeah. This is, like I said, Bushido Blade. It's a one-on-one fighting game of swords, again. But it's a bit unique. Hopefully this demo will show you. It's a pretty complex system, and it's a fun fighting game, I will say. I like it more than most quote-unquote traditional fighting games. Of course, Smash Brothers, I don't want to start that argument, but it's my favorite fighting game, personally. You can see here through the demo here that, yeah, matches can end pretty quickly, as you can see. That was about 12 seconds. And it's one-round matches. So matches can go, if I can speak, pretty quickly. So let's start here. I'll go into training mode here, so I can explain the controls here. Nice, we're getting into gameplay within the first 5 minutes for once. You know how I like to bellow out at the beginning. So you got 6 characters from the beginning. I think you can unlock other characters, but I have no idea how. On the left end, you got the speedy characters, and on the right end, you got the power characters. You can see Red Shadow has the most speed, but the least power. Then Tatsume is a bit less speed, but a bit more power. Mikado is in the middle, kind of balanced, and Black Lotus is in the middle, kind of balanced. Utsumi has a bit more power, and hardly any speed, and Kanuki is the strongest character, with the slowest movement speed out of everybody. So you can pick who you like. I like to pick Kanuki, because power guy, Kanuki. And my opponent doesn't really matter. I usually just pick Black Lotus. And you get to pick your weapon here. Each weapon has a different weight and a different range, like length. That's how far they can see. You got the standard katana. You got a rapier like they use in fencing. You can poke people with it. It's mostly for stabbing. You got a naginata, which is sort of a pole weapon. It's the longest weapon at 181 centimeters. It's great for long-distance combat. You got the sledgehammer, which isn't a blade, first of all, but it's the heaviest weapon, and so it does the most, and it does bludgeoning instead of slashing. And it isn't a blade. It's called Bushido Blade, and it's not a blade. You got the Nodachi, which is sort of like a katana type weapon. I don't know if I'd call it a saber, but it's fairly long, kind of middle-ish weight. You got a long sword, which is, its name implies it's just a long sword. It's got standard weight and length, so it's pretty good for beginners. Here's a saber. Saber's another one-handed stabbing weapon. And you got the broadsword. Broadsword's pretty heavy, and it's kind of long. Of course, the heavier weapons do more damage per hit, but they're slower to swing. And the lighter weapons are faster to swing, but do less damage per hit. And of course, and the centimeters to reach. Longer weapons take a longer time to swing as well, and shorter weapons don't take as long to swing. So weapons like the rapier and saber are pretty fast, while weapons like the broadsword and the nodachi, sledgehammer, and nagata are pretty slow on the draw. And if I'm stumbling over these words, sorry. I usually like to pick the broadsword. I know I usually pick the power weapon, which is a sledgehammer, but I want to keep it to the code. It's Bushido Blade, not Bushido Hammer. So I'm going to use the broadsword. And Black Lotus, and I'll just give him the katana. Each character also has 2 weapons they're proficient with. If you pick the right weapon with the right character, you have an extra move that only that character can do. For Kanuki, his 2 proficient weapons are the broadsword and the sledgehammer. So I get an extra move when I use Kanuki with the broadsword. So yeah, of course it's all there in the manual as well. If you look in the manual, it tells you the backstory, all the moves, the character's proficiency, and everything. When you have practice mode, you only have 3 arenas. So let's go to Cherry Blossom Grove here. You only have 3 arenas in training mode. So let's break it down, shall we? This is Bushido Blade, as the loading screen kindly says. And if the weapons are off color, that means they're made of bamboo for training mode, which is a nice touch, because it's just a training mode. You got 4 standard buttons. You got the square button is the block. You have to block at the moment the blade's about to hit you. If you block it correctly, you get a green spark. You get a green spark if you block it correctly. If it's a blue spark, if I can show you, that means the weapon just blocked it by itself, but you'll rear back and you'll be at a disadvantage. X button is your leg attack. You go for the legs. And I'll explain all this as I'm going along, just letting them murder me. Your circle button is your body, your mid attack. Body. And the triangle button is your head attacks. You usually do an overslash. Usually the head attacks are the fastest, then the body and body and leg attacks are slower. Now let's get into the more technical aspects of it. You have 3 different stances. When you start off the game, you start off in the middle stance. If you press R1, you'll go up to a higher stance. If you press R2, you go into a little lower stance. You have 3 stances. You got middle stance, high stance, and low stance. And each stance allows you a certain different move set and different power. For example, the lower stance does more damage, but it takes a little bit longer to swing. The middle stance is more balanced. It's balanced, and the upper stance is a bit faster, but does a little bit less damage. So yeah, and you can change stances pretty quickly here. It's a game about stances and techniques. And those are your basic commands. Now, if there's basic command, you got L1. L1's the free run around. So without holding L1, you're locked to your opponent. He can barely move. You also got running attacks. You press the triangle button while running. It'll do a running slash, which is fun. If you do the circle button while running, you'll stop and do a stabbing motion. And if you press the X button, you'll stop and do a back away spin. And whatever button you press after you do if you press circle or X when you're coming out of a run, you'll end up in that stance. So if you press the circle button, you come out of it in the middle stance. If you press the X button, you come out of it in the low stance. It's neat. You can also sort of duck forward. Your ducking forward opens up this new set of moves. You can press the attack buttons after ducking forward. You can press the triangle button after ducking forward to do a high chop like that. And you can press the X button after ducking to do a head chop. And do a head chop. Yeah, I'm trying to throw. Oh yeah, I'm on my leg. On my leg here. Say a head chop. And if you press the circle button while you're ducking forward, you'll throw your sub weapon. See. And you saw I missed. The sub weapon doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it can throw your opponent off guard. to pick it up, you need to duck by it again. If I can. See? You need to see, it's still on the floor. See, Kanuki's weapon is a fan, and it does pretty good damage. And so you saw the blue spark, that means it blocked it by itself. If I can pick it up. There. Okay, maybe I can pick it up this time. There we are. And if you duck by it, you'll pick it up. There, and you can throw it again. You only have one of your sub weapons, so if you throw it and it goes flying somewhere, you have to go and pick it up. Now you can also do other things here. If you press the R2 button, forward and R2 is to do its forward step, by the way. If you press the R2 button again, you'll throw sand in your opponent's eyes, and it'll put them at a disadvantage. Here, you saw I did it there, barely. Here, let me try to do it again. Don't know why Come on, I'm pressing R2. There we are. You got sand in your eye. If you press the R1 button while you're doing the step forward, you'll do a jump in the air. Like this. And you can press an attack button while in the air. And whichever button you press is the stance you'll come out of the jump with. If you press the triangle button, you'll come out of it at highest stance. If you press the circle button, you'll come out of it at medium stance. If you press the X button, you'll come out of it at low stance. Again, it's useful for changing stances while still keeping on the offensive. Now, if you press the R1 button next to a ledge, you can climb up. Here. And if you want to be a jerk, you can attack people as they're climbing up. But that's dishonorable, as I'll get to here shortly after I'm done explaining everything. Oh, and of course, if you couldn't tell by now, if blood comes out, that means it was a fatal blow. You know, climbing up, you know how climbing up it was pretty slow. Climbing up these was pretty slow. It's usually faster to jump, to do a jump up, do a jump up. It's faster that way. See, you can't keep up. Now I think I got everything. Oh, there's one more thing. There's also the crippling element here. See, let me see if I can cripple him. One of us can get crippled. There's two different places where you get crippled. You get crippled at the leg, which you can't run anymore. I don't think you can climb, and you're limited in your moveset. You can also get your left arm crippled. Your bum-armed. If your left arm is crippled, you can't hold your weapon with two hands anymore. So you do less damage and swing slower. And you can't throw your sub-weapon anymore when your left hand's crippled. So, and also, you can have both your left arm crippled and your leg crippled at the same time. So, if that happens, you're not going to have a good time. You're going to have a bad time. Now, there's another action you can do if he can cripple my legs. If your legs are crippled, here, if he can cripple me, you can press the select button and surrender. Here, he might not want to cripple me, though. He's facing the wrong way. Oh yeah, there's one more move. If you do back, forward, and X, you'll do a stabbing down motion. It's good for enemies on the ground. Yeah, like Link's finishing blow. So see if he can... I want to see if he can cripple me so I can show you the surrender. He doesn't look like he's going to comply. He's just content on slashing me up as I keep myself open. Maybe if I cripple his legs, it'd be more likely to cripple mine. Come on. Come on. Let's break your legs. There we are. He's trying to throw sand, he's not over sand. Throw mud, sand, snow, whatever you have. But again, that's dishonorable. I guess I'll talk about it now, if I'm trying to get him to cripple my legs. There's a gameplay out of it called Bushido, and in order to beat the game, you have to follow the Bushido code. You have to fight honorably. That means you have to wait for your opponents to be ready. You can't throw mud in their face. You can't attack them from behind. You can't attack them while they're down. It's all that jazz. So you can pause. To exit, you have to press select and start at the same time here. Now, 15 minutes in. Well, we got gameplay at 5. It's better than my usual, right? Now, there's different modes here. So you can see the options here. You can set the difficulty easy, high. Rollout rate determines how easy it is to be knocked over. Low means you only get knocked down if If your opponent knocks you down, high means if you run into something, you're going to fall over. So I like to play it on high. Music on or off. There's not really much music, but still. Monitor color on, continue on. Yeah, you can turn to continues off if you want to be a jerk. Background, bright, dark, sure. So and autosave's on, you have autosave. So let's do a story mode. This should take, honestly, 10 minutes. This, as you can see, matches can go by pretty quickly. So I might just do a full run of story mode here. You may see that they're each wearing different clothing, too. I like that they have 2 different outfits. So let's pick my main man and my broadsword. Kanuki with the broadsword. Kanuki Tanuki. So I guess I'll let this play out for a bit. I think I went over pretty much all the commands.
Dojo of the Narukagami Shinto School is really a secret society of assassins called Kage.
Hokage.
Everyone who knew that was sworn to secrecy and not allowed to leave the compound. But one person broke the code of silence and escaped into the ruins of a deserted castle in search of the only way out through the castle tower.
Okay, yeah. Subtitles should come on now. So yeah, the story mode is that you play as the traitor of the secret clan. You play as the traitor, and you have to fight your way out of the castle alive. The story mode is a series of 8 versus CPU matches, and if you fulfill certain conditions, you fight a 9th bonus boss. But I'll get into that later. But here's what I was talking about, the Bushido code. You have to wait. At the beginning of each fight, your opponent will come down and do a short speech at the beginning. You have to let them finish, or it's dishonorable. You see, we got proper blades now, rather than our bamboo. So yep, and you can't attack them while they're down, that's dishonorable too. The game will not let you beat story mode if you're dishonorable while fighting. You can't attack people while they're climbing up or down ledges. You have to wait for them to get up. And yeah, you just fight like an honorable person. Don't stab them in the back. Wait till they're ready. And you fight through all the characters that you didn't pick, I believe. Plus a boss character as the 8th fight. And I think 1 or 2 characters that aren't selectable as well. Come on, go down already. He's got a sledgehammer. There you are. So again, like, story mode will take less than 10 minutes, more than likely, if you're semi-good at the game. I'm not good at this game. I'm just getting lucky. In the story mode, there's also a mechanic that's not available in other modes, which I will say. I'll go over the other modes later. There's a mechanic present in story mode that's not available, and I'll get to it after this fight here. He has a broadsword, too. Oh, he's Mr. Black. Oh, Black Lotus. That's the guy I was fighting against. He took me out in 1 shot. Dang. So yeah, here's the continue screen. You got 10 seconds to continue. You press circle to speed it up, and you press X to continue. Here's a neat little feature. Look at my face since he slashed me in the head. During the next cutscene, you take battle damage as you have to continue more. You get bandages around yourself as you continue, depending on where the killing blow was. So you can have bandages around your head, your arm, and your leg. And I just keep letting them do that, aren't I? Again, you have to be honorable. If you're dishonorable too much, the game will just boot you out of story mode without letting you finish. So yeah, the game's serious, so I almost hit him in the back. There you are. Oh yeah, this is a weapon clash. You just mash the attack buttons as fast as you can to win the clash, and your opponent will be at a disadvantage if you win the clash. Hey, get up. Get up. Oh, is your leg broken? Let me help you with that. Here, if you'll die. Oh, almost attacked him in the back. Almost again. And you gotta be careful about that, because you can get behind your opponents if you're not careful. There we are. I hit him on the stomach. Hopefully that doesn't count. I like this sort of fighting game. It's quick, it's Twitch. It's Twitch fighting. So you can see his story fold out as I'm beating the opponents. Now here's a mechanic that it's only available in story mode here, which I'll go and show. Here after the loading screen, you know, PS1, Saturn, lots of loading. Now if I can get this bozo to follow me here. Don't run into the wall, dude. Gee, she's slow. Come on, guy. I should have just let Red Shadow after me. She's faster. And I'm the power guy. The power guy's supposed to be slow. Anyway, in story mode, you can transition from... In the first 4 fights, you can transition between the castle areas, which is neat. You can go all around the castle. Here, I'll go into another area here. Jump up here. See, jumping's way faster than climbing. You can pull it off. Yeah, this is exploring. You gotta love exploring. Follow me, dude. I'm not gonna run through too many areas. Just want to show that you can. During the first 4 fights, you can run to different areas of castles. Here's the bamboo forest, where you can select. Now being able to run through these areas is key to finding a secret here, which I'll tell you at the end. Just remember that you can run between areas. Oh, my leg's broken too. So yeah, I'll get in that. Remember, you can. And also, yeah, you can do environmental damage. So you can cut down the bamboo if you want to. Hey, what a coincidence! I was here. After the 4th fight, you'll automatically run through the castle and into this well. So see, it's auto advancing. You automatically go to the well after the 4th fight. Then it's the second half. Fights 5 through 8 are all on single stages where you can't move from. Wait, 5 through 9. Forgot. There's 9 fighters. So it's the fight in the well. Yeah, I might want to be careful about running around. Don't want to attack her in the back. So this is inside the well. You see how fast this is too. You don't have to go back to a character select screen or anything. So it's nice and fast. I like fast. Well, I am the Captain Slow of gaming, but I like fast sometimes. Walk. Come on. Ugh. Slash. Come on, go down. How many times have I hit you 3 times and you only hit me once. Gee, that's the beauty of Bushido Blade. A match can be decided in 1 hit at any time. You just never know. That's why I like it. It's unpredictable. Okay. Oh, I'm up here. Okay, if she climbs up here, I can't attack her. That'd be dishonorable. Get up here, lady. Now you can be a scumlord and do this if you can use the D-pad effectively. This is maybe for dual shock, so you gotta use the D-pad. But that's not really helping anybody. And I'm sucking at this. If I don't get this by 30 minutes, I'm just gonna call it quits. So we got 6 minutes here to beat the story mode. And hopefully I'm not dishonorable. I hope I'm fighting honorably. I'm not completely sure on the Bushido system here. And my leg's crippled here. I guess I'll show it now since I am. Press the select button, you'll go into a surrender stance. And it's basically lets your opponent just behead you. If you stand around in the surrender stance long enough, the match will just end. Your opponent just lets you sit around. Okay. I usually don't have this much trouble. It's not until the next guy. Wait until you see the next guy, though. I might just finish it anyway. Because after the story mode, there's really not much else to do. After the story mode and my training and my session in the training mode, not really much else I can say. I might just do this until I get it. She has this long pole thing. There, finally, skull cracked you in the skull. That dang time. Good. I thought it's going to kick me out for a second. It always scares me when it does that because I'm afraid it's going to kick me out for being dishonorable. Now this guy. Remember, it's called Bushido Blade, right? This guy has a gun. How is that fair? It's not even the sledgehammer. This guy just has a gun. He just shoots you. It's not a blade. It's not even a sledgehammer. But the bright side is that he has a gun. The bright side is he's a pretty weak fighter. If you hit him once, he's pretty much just going to go down. So it's promise hitting him. There. Dang it. There, got ya. See, he usually goes down in one hit. Yeah, I call that cheating. Bringing a gun to a blade fight in Sledgehammer. I call foul on that. Hanzaki. If you can't tell, this is they kept the Japanese voice acting and just have English subtitles. Which I can appreciate. I can appreciate that. So I should have 3 more fights left. So we're getting there. This is the Executioner's Cove. This is one of my favorite arenas because it's a nice sunny beach. I like sunny beaches. And you're down. I'm tempted to do a down slash on him, but again, I want to keep my honorability up. Because if I get booted out for being dishonorable, I'll just be wasting your time then. The 2 more fights. I'm not going to get the bonus fight because I'll tell you that during the credit sequence how to get the bonus fight and secrets. So, this is the penultimate fight. She has a rapier, I think, or a saber. Yeah, I like that combo. That combo I'm doing with broadsword, middle stance, circle, circle, triangle with Kanuki is his special move with the broadsword. It's proven useful. Upskirt shot. And the graphics, I don't know if I mentioned this, the graphics are pretty darn good for a PS1 game. You know, like the character models aren't hideously blocky like most other games. They're tolerable. They're pretty good looking. This guy has the longest speech. You just have to have patience. It would be a shame to get booted out for being dishonorable in the last fight. This is the final fight, normally. There, I should have just been doing that combo the whole time. And if you're honorable the whole time, this is the final fight here. You'll get your character's ending, which is pre-rendered. Most of the game is... All the rest of the game is in-game. The endings are the only things that are pre-rendered. You can see each character has 2 endings. The standard ending is just going through the game normally, keeping the Bushido code and beating this guy, the final guy here. Now there is a second ending for each character, which I'll explain. There are 3 conditions you have to fulfill. The first one is, of course, follow the Bushido code. That should be the easy one, because you wouldn't be able to beat the game otherwise. The second, you know how I was running through the different areas before? That's the key. You have to run through the areas and manually jump into the well that you autopiloted in after the 4th fight. Instead of being autopiloted in there, you have to jump into it manually. And it has to be on the 4th fight here. Because you saw after the 4th fight, you jumped into it automatically. You have to do it manually on the 4th fight. That's the second requirement. The well was a bit obtuse and out of the way. I was going toward the well, but I didn't go all the way there. So you can see, you can use that I got part way to the well. So yeah, the well is obtuse and out of the way to find, but after you find it the first couple times, you'll get it. The third requirement is the hardest requirement, though. The third requirement is you cannot take any damage at all. Nothing. Nada. Not even a crippling limb. You cannot take any damage, so to follow the Bushido code, jump into the well manually on the 4th fight, and you can't take any damage. If you satisfied those 3 conditions by the time you beat the samurai guy 9th fight, you'll fight a bonus 10th opponent. And if you beat that opponent without losing or taking damage, you'll get your character's hidden ending. Yeah. The hidden endings are... I saw the hidden ending for Kanuki online. I looked it up. The hidden endings seem like they're gonna be odd. It's like, what the crap is this? But, yeah. I'm not gonna get any of the hidden endings. I'm not good enough at this game. You can do it on easy if you want to, but it really makes no difference for me. Easy, hard, I suck at it. I just have it on hard because I like it like that. Even on easy, I probably suck at it. Because I probably just get hit somewhere. And my blocking skills aren't entirely good. So yeah. The hidden endings are going to be hard to get. Unless you're really skilled at the game. And I think you can unlock extra characters if you get after you get so many hidden endings and normal endings. Okay, so let's go over the other modes really quick. I'm hoping to aim for 40 minutes. I'm probably going to leak over to 45 or 50. But I don't really got too much to talk about anymore. Versus mode is your standard 2-player versus mode. You know, 2 players. Slash mode, which I'll show you. Slash mode is an endurance fight against 100 opponents. Yeah, that's a lot of people. You get to pick your character. In slash mode, you have to use the katana, though. The katana is the only weapon you can use, which is kind of lame. I wish I could use my broadsword, but in turn, all 100 enemies in the slash mode use katanas as well. And it's as it says on the tin. You slash. And you don't have to follow the Bushido code here. You can be as dishonorable as you want. Here, if I can even fight the first guy. Here. I'll fight the first 10 guys here. That's 1/10 of the way. You start off on level 1, it's easy. It's the easy part, warm-up fight. Against these standard mooks. If I can just not die. And also, any damage you sustain is carried over until you have to continue again. Well, but that sucks. At this rate, I might not even beat 10 guys. So yeah, start over at the beginning. Don't worry, you don't have to start over at the beginning every time. Here, if I can just get to 10 guys here. You know, double 5 guys. You know, like, there was 2 5 guys next to each other. You had 10 guys. That's the big box version of 5 guys, 10 guys. And they have decent food. Nice chain. But anyway, yeah. Again, let's just take care of these first guys here. Halfway through the first 10. You know? Again, I'm just being a scumlord and doing cheapo tactics. Here. 7. Lucky 7. 8. If I can. Every 10th fighter is a special enemy. It's a bit harder than the standard mooks. There, and after 10 kills, you go up a level, and the mooks become harder, and you get a different set of 9 fodder mooks and the 10th special mook. But yeah, let me kill this guy here. He's already crippled. If I can just get the blow on him. And I'm gonna let this guy kill me here, if he can kill me. The thing that makes slash mode actually doable, if he can kill me, here, I'm leaving myself open for you, is that every 10th kill is also a checkpoint. So you can see when I continue from here, it starts me off from enemy 11. Every 10 guys is a checkpoint. So that's how slash mode is actually doable. So I think you can exit by doing the select pause thing there. Select and pause. So that's slash mode. You can fight 100 guys in a row. Well, not in a row. You can continue after every 10 guys. I would like to see somebody beat all the 100 fighters without losing. That would be a sight to see. The first time I beat Slash Mode, it took me about an hour or 10 minutes. I don't think I want to make you sit through all that. I might do it either on my I might do it on my channel as sort of a casual play of Bushido Blade. Like, hey, let's do Slash Mode. Maybe eventually, so be on the lookout for that in the future. Oh, and the demo started up. It's wondering why the D-pad's not working. Idle. Trainee modes I showed you. Okay, point of view mode. Point of view mode is a bit strange. It's or POV, if you prefer. POV mode. So let's get my guy, get my opponent. POV mode or point of view mode. You play from the point of view of your character. It's a first-person game. It turns Bushido Blade into a first-person fighting game, and you get to choose between one of 8 arenas this time. And unlike story mode, you can't travel between arenas. You're locked to the arena you picked, like versus mode. Once you pick an arena, you're locked to it until you go back to the main menu. So this is what point of view mode looks like. Instead of right being forward and left being back, assuming you're facing right, down becomes back and up becomes forward. And of course, if you want to do the downward slash, you do down up X instead of left right X. It's first person Bushido Blade. It's a unique mode. You don't really see a lot of fighting games with a first person mode like this. In fact, I think this is the only fighting game with a first person mode like this. Unless you want to count that one game that's pretty much a first person brawler. What was it called? Can't remember what it's called. Hey, get back up here. Get back here. Again, if you free run around, you saw if you free run around, you can lose sight of your opponent. If you want to face your opponent, you stop running and go face him. There. And you can run around. It's kind of weird. Point of view mode is for one player only. You fight against the CPU. Let's see if I can beat this guy one more time. A couple more times. And blocking can be... I found blocking to be kind of weird here. There, it's kind of... It's not being able to see from the side where you're going. It can be kind of disorienting, especially since you don't play in this mode a lot of the time. Hey, don't run. Here. Gotcha. I seem to do better in point of view mode than in regular mode. For some reason. There. It's kind of disorienting. So it's... Oh, there's a glitch I want to show you. See if I can do it. Again, I'll go up to 45 maybe. Let's see if I can do this glitch. So I think I'm lined up correctly. Look at that. Man, isn't that violent? He's surely down for the count. Now, that only works for the broadsword. It works for another weapon too. The broadsword, you have to be in a very specific position for that to hit. And you can see the results are bloody. It's kind of hilarious. The other weapon you can do it with is the naginata. This one's a bit easier to do. Again, if I haven't said, each weapon also has a different victory stance for you. And the way the victory stances are, and the way the victory stances are, the only 2 weapons out of reach are the broadsword and the naginata. I hope I'm saying these right. I'm hoping to learn Japanese someday. The only 2 words in Japanese I know are hello and suicide. Well, I know 2 different words for suicide. Seppuku and harakiri. Harikiri, or harakari, harakiri, however it's pronounced. I don't think I should go into Japan saying hello, kill yourself around. So I want to learn Japanese. So yeah, this one's a bit easier to do. The guy will plant the staff in your opponent. It doesn't go crazy like the broadsword, but you're killing him with the blunt end of the staff. Gee, it's kind of hilarious. I'm kind of surprised I got the broadsword glitch as fast as I could get it. And Link mode is unique. Again, another unique mode. It's point of view mode, but for 2 players. And it's called Link mode because, you know, you don't play as Link from Zelda. You link up 2 PS1 systems together with a special link cable. And you do a 2-player versus point of view mode. And you need 2 TVs, 2 PS1s, and a link cable for that to happen. And as far as I know, it's one of the few PS1 games that use the link cable between PS1s. And as far as I know, it's the only one I know. There may be others. Again, tell me if you know other PS1 games that use the link mode feature. And I have a PS2, and only one PS2 at that. Don't have a PS1 at all, so I won't be able to demonstrate this to you. I do have 2 TVs, but don't have a PS1 or a link cable. I just have a PS2. So yeah, link mode is a lot of hassle to set up, but point of view versus point of view can be fun. And it could be fun to record, too. Wink, wink, if somebody can get that. And movie mode is cutscene mode, basically. You can watch the demo, and you can watch the ending for each character. I only got Kanuki's standard ending unlocked. I haven't played as the other characters yet. And options, I showed you the options, so that's everything. That's Bushido Blade in a nutshell. And I at least did my opening spiel for 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes or so. I hope you guys were glad about that. I need to work on getting my opening spiels down a little bit. I need to show and not tell. Show and not tell. What did you bring for show and tell today, Billy? Nothing. But yeah, this is Bushido Blade in a nutshell. Again, it spawned Bushido sequel called Bushido Blade 2, which I may or may not do down the line. And again, I may do all 100 opponents of Slash mode, either in a stream or just as a casual play on my channel. So yeah, my thoughts on Bushido Blade. It's a fun fighting game. It's one of my more favorite fighting games after Smash Brothers, and I'll put Power Stone above this too. Power Stone's fun too. I might do Power Stone sometime as well. Power Stone or Power Stone 2. Maybe 64 Smash Brothers. On my channel, it's open game. I'll do anything, but yeah. Bushido Blade. I like the fast-paced nature of Bushido Blade and how matches can be decided by one attack. Or you can drag them out to be a bit longer by playing chicken and running around. You know, I like that. I like Bushido Blade. I respect it for what it is. It's a quick fighting game. You can continue quickly. The only way you select different characters, a different character or weapon is to go back to the main menu altogether, which I like. Usually, if you're playing a game, a fighting game, you usually want to stick with one character for a while, or if you're playing story mode, you usually want to stick with one character throughout that story mode. So yeah, it's a nice effect, and it reduces loading and stuff, and flapping around. And overall, like, the mechanics are pretty deep. You got pretty deep. You can do a lot of different moves. I probably missed a move here or there, but I think I showed off a majority of what you can do. I pretty much only used the broadsword, too. I didn't really show off the other weapons. Again, if you have the game, experiment for yourself, or if you want to get it, if I made it look fun, and if you could see what I was doing. Hopefully I got the camera to look good. See? Even a demo shows that matches can end in 2 seconds. Again, fun game. It's one of my favorite fighting games, and one of the few games from Square I actually like. I was never a big fan of their RPGs or Final Fantasy. I know it's going to cause some debacle, but I just don't really like RPGs in general, so yeah. And I guess Kingdom Hearts is okay, too. I can tolerate that to an extent. But anyway, yeah. Bushido Blade, fun game. Bushido Blade 2, I haven't played it yet, so I got no opinion. I'm sure it's just as good. Anyway, this has been Bushido Blade for the PS1. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you kiddos next time. Keep it retro.